I honestly cannot believe I'm making a video about this, but I'm going to do it because it needs to be done, and it needs to be said. Guys, Minecraft Bedrock does not suck. No, it's not perfect, but it doesn't suck, and it's actually pretty good, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to be calling anybody out here, but I've come across literal YouTubers who in their videos complain about this. Yeah, the loading time. When Minecraft Bedrock loads your worlds. They literally complained about that. I know that sounds nuts, and it is. It really is. Because here's the thing. That is not on Bedrock. That is nothing. The loading times have nothing to do with Bedrock Edition, all right? What it has to do is with your device. Every device, computer, tablet, phone, whatever, it has something called a CPU, basically, and that is the brain of the computer, responsible for executing instructions, performing calculations, and managing data flow, okay? Now, different devices have different types of processors. Some are more powerful than others. The more powerful the processor, the less loading times you have on your device. The less powerful the processor, the more loading time you're gonna have. And honestly, a second, 2, 3, 4 second delay is nothing, okay? That is literally nothing. Like, you're complaining about a 2.3 second loading time is ridiculous. I cannot believe these people actually exist. I know they do, but it boggles my mind. I'm not kidding. It does. All right. Now, higher end devices, higher tier tablets, iPhones, PCs, whatever, throw in the blank, whatever. The more powerful your processor is, the better performance you're going to get out of your device. That's just how that works, okay? Also, RAM is a thing too. I think random access memory, that's also a thing, and that also contributes to being able to have multiple browsers or apps open in a single setting, and how well it can handle, that. That's what RAM is for. The more you have, the better your device will be at it. The less you have, the worse your device will be at it, which is why high tier or flagship models and devices usually are the best when it comes to doing that. Next thing I want to talk about is the settings and how things are displayed here. Another complaint that I saw quite often is how people were talking about how big and bulky and ugly these menu buttons are compared to Java. And yeah, they can be pretty big. They are a little bulky, but there's a reason for this, and I'm going to explain the reason for this, okay? And that is because originally, when Minecraft Pocket Edition came out on the Play Store, all right, there was no keyboard and mouse. There was no controller thing, okay? This stuff came later, and basically everybody used the touch input. Everyone used touch. Like this D-pad right here. This is what we had. This is exactly what we had. All right. Now, later on, they added the keyboard and the mouse, but back then, this is all we had. So, by having bigger buttons, we could actually see what our fingers were pushing when we wanted to hit a button, and that's why that was handy. And even today, people still use the touchscreen input. That's what this was designed for, a touchscreen interface, not a controller, not a keyboard and a mouse. Can you use them? Yes, you can. However, this was meant for a touchscreen interface. That's why the buttons are so big. If you look at my mouse cruiser, yeah, it's pretty big compared to my little mouse cruiser. But you put your finger up on there, and yeah, it's like, well, it makes a difference, don't it? That's what that's for. So yes, even though this stuff might be big and blocky and look chunky, it was very necessary. And technically, it still is necessary. Now, the next thing that I've heard a lot of people complain about is the Microsoft or the Mojang Marketplace. Now, about this marketplace, there's some really cool things in here. A lot of nice add-ons. They're pretty cool. They work. They're great. Here's the truth. You don't have to buy these. You don't have to get these in order to have good packs or to have fun things. There are things you can get third party and install very, very easily. Very easily indeed. Like, for example, Prisma Visuals. Look at this. I don't own this pack. I don't. It's 663 Minecoins or $399. It says download here, but if I try and hit that, I don't think it'll download. I think it'll say I have to buy it first. I don't know. See what happens. This will download. I don't know how it's letting me download this. I haven't bought it, but yeah, I guess you can get that for free. That's pretty cool. I don't know how. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Activate detector. Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that. But some of this stuff you can get without having to buy it a lot. Like, seriously, like Mousie's mobs. I've seen this. I've seen this exact mod on another site. Let me go to it. Okay, literally, you can get the mods right here. Right here. You can get them right here. You don't. Like, look at this. They used to be on here, but look, there are so many. All you have to do is go to mcpedl.com, add-ons. This is for, I'm on Bedrock, so this is just going to take me to the Bedrock one. But look, there's maps, texture packs, skins, data packs, cosmetics, technology, roleplay, like there are so many different things you can get here. There's so much. You can go to the next page, and the next. And the next, like you can do this for literal hours and you will not run out of add-ons, mods, maps, skins, texture. Like you will not run out. And there are so many cool ideas and stuff that come to this thing like every day. You really do not need to go to the Microsoft store to get cool stuff. Is it nice? Yeah. Is it cool if you want to help the developers? Yeah, it is. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've bought some stuff from here as well. Let me go to my marketplace pass. Popular, my wish list. Is it in my wish list? No, I don't have wish list. Ah, my library. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, in my library, I've got about 274 something stuff. It's not. Over the span of years, I've collected various things, as you can see, but you don't have to. I mean, I've done it to help support little creators here and there over the years, but honestly, you don't have to do that, okay? You honestly don't have to do that. You can get a ton of free stuff without having to go to the marketplace, and you can install it for free. You don't have to have it. It's just something nice. Here's the difference between Java and Bedrock. Each one has their pros and cons. Bedrock is like a friendlier version of the Java edition, made for devices that are not a juggernaut. If you compared the Android or an Apple or some device that runs the Pocket Edition or the Bedrock Edition version of Minecraft to Java, you gotta understand, PCs have better processors, they've got cooling fans, they've got graphics cards. They're basically a juggernaut, and compared to an Android or an Apple iOS device or any other device pretty much running the Bedrock edition of Minecraft. Minecraft Bedrock edition is kind of meant for those devices that are not, well, as powerful as a PC. They're getting there. We're slowly getting there. They're getting more stronger every year, basically, with every new update that Apple or Samsung or Motorola or whatever releases. They do get better, but we're not there yet. Okay, we're getting close, but we're not there. And so basically, with Bedrock, Mojang kind of has to keep a leash on it to keep it from getting ridiculously too powerful too quickly, because it's not going to run very well on low-end devices. I'm trying to find these pillagers. I don't know where they went. But basically, that's my guess is what they're trying to do. Another thing I want to talk about, the last and final thing, are bugs. I've heard a lot of people say that the bugs in Bedrock are terrible, they suck. I've never experienced any hardcore difficult bugs. I'm not saying they don't exist. because they definitely do. And I've seen videos of people just randomly dying in a hardcore world, and I will admit that sucks. That's terrible. I've never experienced it myself. I've done a little looking into this, and I've discovered if you're using BlueStacks or using some third-party emulator or something like that, or you're just using some strange off-brand weird device that nobody's really heard of, yeah, you're gonna run into bugs a lot more frequently than somebody who's using an Android or an iOS device, because Bedrock Edition is kind of scripted and optimized for those devices, not off-brand weird tech that nobody's ever heard of, like a Dopo or an American Pumpkin X or I don't know, a Weeboo or something, I can't remember, but like if you go online and you see all these off-brand weird tablets, I'm not saying don't buy them. I'm just saying if you choose to buy them, you're going to get a lot more bugs because they run a different version of Android than Samsung or Motorola or Huawei or the usual known devices. I cannot find a single one of these pillagers. I have no idea where they went. Oh well. I think they're coming from over here. But anyway, good luck with those if you want to buy them. And if you use emulators, good luck with that too, because you're going to get a lot more bugs and a lot more errors if you're running BlueStacks or trying to... I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that's just what's going to happen, because you're trying to play something on a device that was never really meant to be played on. Emulators are okay. They do a decently good job, but overall, it's just gonna happen. You're gonna get bugs. That's the way it is. All right. So just be normal. Be a normal person. Get an iPhone or an Android device of some kind, and just play it the way it's supposed to be, and you'll notice that a lot of these bugs disappear. All right. Just do that. Yeah. Take that, Mr. Enderman. Witch, burn it with fire. Whee! So yeah, that's my take on that. I'll see you guys around.